that sense immoral, because it's a part of my job. It's really what I'm hired to do.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is if you read the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, etc., you can kind of like utilize the concept of self in all marketing materials because when the audience or the user views the advertisement or the publishing post, they're intrigued. It's like you're offering an essence or an aura by discussing the divine, and it works every time. You know, and you see a lot of it in symbols in marketing. You know, they won't say the secret part out loud. They'll just utilize a symbol to attract either consciously or subconsciously, if you know what that symbol represents. But yeah, books are great for, you know, coming up with the or I don't know. I'm just saying that you know what evergreen is in advertising. Um, it's like a white label standardization. Um, but even green, you know, even evergreen still in some ways deals with the concept of the divine self. Anyways, I can read a brief excerpt from the Upanishad for you if you want, but I'm gonna head out of here and go to the gym and start my life day outside of my clown house hypnosis.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, this is the Upanishads. And so Bhargava Vaidarbhi asked him, Master, how many are the bright ones that uphold being, which illumine this? Which of them again is chiefest? He answered him, Shining ether is that bright one, air and fire, and water and earth, voice, mind, sight, hearing. They, illumining, declare we uphold this ray, establishing it. And life, the chiefest among them, said, Cherish not this delusion, for I verily, dividing myself fivefold, uphold this ray, establishing it. They were incredulous. Life proudly made as if to go out above, and as life goes out, all the others go out, and as life returns, all the others return. As the bees all go out after the honeymaker's king when he goes out, and return when he returns, thus did voice, mind, sight, and hearing. Joyful they sing the praise of life. He warms as fire, as sun and the rain god, the thunderer, wind and the earth, substance, the bright one. What is not, and what is immortal? Like spokes in a wheel's nave, all this rests in life. Songs and liturgies and chants, sacrifice and warrior and priest. Thou, life as Lord of beings, movest in the germ, and thou thyself art born from it. And to thee, life, these beings bring the offering, thou who art set firm through the lives. Thou art the tongued flame of the bright ones, the first oblation of the fathers. Thou art the law of the sages, the truth of sacrificial priests. Thou art the thunderer, life, with his brightness. Thou art the storm god, the preserver. Thou movest in the mid space as the sun. Thou art master of the stars. When thou descendest as rain, these thy children, life stand rejoicing. We shall have food, they say, according to our desire. Thou art the exile, life, the lonely seer, the eater, the good master of all. We are givers of the first offering. Thou art Father to us, the great breath. Thy form that is manifested in voice and in hearing and in sight, and the form that expands in mind, make it auspicious. Go not out. All this in life's sway, all that is set firm in the triple heaven, guard us as a mother her sons and his fortune. Give us wisdom. That's a Vedic master. That's from the Upanishads. So it like deals with nature and consciousness and self, but it's
Yeah, and the unity
yeah,
of existence. I think that particular bit.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that's the thing is like you may hate the Muslim, but you got to know that that person is part of the creation. So if you revert
Absolutely.
yeah, if you reverse engineer that, you'll figure out that there is a unified system, and that your anger and disgust towards it is not necessarily the accurate response to the vulgar person. Meaning, if you're a good person, you were created for that bad person. You just got to be aware of that, and hopefully you can rectify that person without destroying yourself in the process.
Absolutely. You see, when I said what I said, I specifically talked about Islam. You see, because I love to make the distinction between ideas and people, right? Just like I love to make the distinction between countries and people, because the people that I meet are often quite nice, but that really does not have much to do with, let's say, in the two specific cases that I've given. One is religion, and the second one is nationality, right? And those two things I specifically talk about because my country happens to have quite a nasty relationship with our neighbors, right? Especially with Pakistan and with China. And with Pakistan, there is a religious aspect to it as well, right? But for both cases, I don't really have a problem with Muslims, right? I don't have a problem with Pakistanis, but I have a problem with the state of Pakistan, and I have a problem with Islam, right? Because the people, regardless of their beliefs, in my cultural worldview, they're all a part of the same thing, right? You don't need to believe. I don't need others to believe, right? I don't. I myself don't believe, right? But in my cultural context, it's okay. It really doesn't matter if somebody does not believe in your worldview. That has nothing to do with you, right? Your responsibility lies towards your own, right? And in the collective good, your actions must, in totality, improve outcomes for everybody. Unfortunately, in the world that we live in, there are certain ideas that need to be rooted out, just like there are in every point of time in history, right? There are ideas that go out of control, and you need to rein them in. We did that in World War II. Immediately after that, we had a huge cold conflict in order to decide which one was actually evil, because that's really more, in most cases, how it works out. We've done before that as well. It's just a matter of time, and I think time is finally coming. Uh, it's happening. I mean, in this specific context, uh, you can say that it's happening in Europe, but I'd say that that's not quite accurate, because it's happening in India as well. It's happening in China as well, right? It's happening in the Middle East. If you look at how how the elites of the people of Arabian countries are thinking today, you will see that they are very progressive. You look at the decisions that Mohammed bin Salman is making, right? We like to call him a closet atheist in the circles that I run in, because he has basically done more harm to the orthodoxy of Islam than anything has done in the last 500 years, let's say. Just to give you some idea of the magnitude of the changes that he is making in in Islamic culture, as well as in Saudi Arabian culture. And that is quite important, because as the holders of the two holiest places of Islam, uh, what they say has a lot of sway in the Islamic world. I'm not saying it has complete sway, because that's really not true, but they are very important cultural markers. And if they are changing, uh, you know, who's to say? I mean, look at Israel, for instance, right? We talk about what's happening, but in reality, all of the Islamic countries around this conflict haven't really done much to oppose Israel, right? Actually, they really haven't done anything. All they've done is made shallow statements. But when Iran attacked, Jordan, actually, it was Jordanian planes that took down a lot of those drones and things like that, and missiles. the Israelis, in a lot of cases, didn't even have to respond in some areas because the other countries were taking care of it. So it really seems to me that there is a disconnect between the ruling class and the populace at large in these countries, and that is happening because the elites actually radicalized these people when it was in their favor for them to hate Israel, right? But today it really is not in their favor to do that. And that dissonance is something that I've observed really coming to forth with this conflict in particular. But even before that, with the signing of the accords and things like that, those were things that were uh, quite monumental, to say the least.
Have you ever heard of axioms or aphorisms?
Yeah.
I've got this book. It's called The Viking Book of Aphorisms, a personal selection by W.H. Auden. And, I could read you some of these on nature. They're very interesting. This is
Actually,
what.
I have to unfortunately go for dinner. There are guests at home, and I can't be excused any longer, unfortunately. But it was a pleasure to speak to you. I have, okay, you already followed me. I have added you back.
Okay, sounds
I
good.
do look forward.
Okay, have a great dinner and God bless. Take care. Have a great evening.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, take care, Neil.
I'll see you around.
Okay, bye. Hi, everybody. I have an incredible new investment opportunity for you. For just $100 today, I can give you $1,000 back by next Friday. Hit me up in the DMs. This is Adrian Dittman. Scam me, baby. Kick me. Okay, this is Angry Clown.
ईश्वर ही कर रहा है, मतलब मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा। इसको बोला था ईश्वरार्पण बुद्धि। और इसका जो भी फल मिलेगा ईश्वर ही लेगा, मुझे कुछ नहीं देगा।
मतलब जो मिलेगा आपको, लेकिन उसमें आपको सुख और दुख नहीं होना है। आपको जो भी मिल रहा है वो ईश्वर के प्रसाद की तरह, प्रसाद बुद्धि की तरह आपको ग्रहण करना है। वो ईश्वर प्रसाद
नहीं, अगला जन्म मिलेगा तो
मतलब
statistics, right? The H-1B recipients may be going for jobs that are so highly in demand that people are having a problem with the professionals that are finding enough professionals in America that are qualified, and so they are seeking out H-1B visas.
This may also be the case. I think that's logical as well. No, that is
because that would be the undercut.
You have to get used to.
If that was the case, that would be the undercut.
You have to. No, that is incorrect. What you just said. You have to get accustomed to the idea that there could be more than one plausible. In fact, most things that happen are overdetermined. There's a variety of causes. The cause that I just gave you is a fact because I know people in this position who have expressed this to me, particularly academics. One field that is greatly affected by this is the academy. So people who work their way up through the academic world here feel undercut by foreign students who are willing to work harder for less money and in worse conditions. That's a marketplace problem for the people who are from here. That's their objection. So that also weighs into why people object to people coming from abroad with these H-1 visas. And I agree with you that we also have a labor shortage here. and we also need foreign workers. So both can be true.
No, both can't be true.
Yes, both
There
can be
is
true.
a labor shortage and there's no undercutting. Anybody who says there is undercutting is being illogical. They both can't be true, Norm. It's either
Oh,
they
no,
are
the people-
undercutting
it's
and
a
it's
fact
hold
that
on.
there's
It's
undercutting.
either
So-
they hold on.
but this is-
This is objective.
well,
Let me
there
say
are
this
different-
totally objectively, and I'll finish.
So this is what you've missed.
Hold
They're
on.
literally
A white person. I'm white, and I'm actually white. Okay, I'm asserting my white privilege. It's a white supremacist society. You have to let a white person talk once in a while, and it could be true in some sectors and not in others. Right? There could be undercutting in some sectors and not in others. There's plenty of evidence, for example, that in software, some companies work really hard to get around the requirement that they attempt to hire a native worker. They have a completely pro forma way. You need to stop that, MJ.
That was to your white privilege and the white
Okay, no, you need to stop it. You need to show respect to the white man.
Absolutely not.
All right, I'm the white man. You're respecting the white
I've
man.
never respected white.
All right. Okay, well, I'm moving
Wait,
to
you don't respect
come back
people
up.
because of the
But
color
that
of
is
the skin?
profanity.
Yeah,
That is profanity. That is profanity.
Alan,
That's unacceptable. All right. So it can be true in some sectors and not in
did you get
others.
rid of it?
Hey, let me. No, I didn't get rid of it. Okay. Let me finish what I'm saying. All right. It can be true in some sectors and not in others. And you're going to have to go on a case by case basis to evaluate that. Certainly, the way the program is set up, it's supposed to be illegal to do any undercutting. There is going to be a lot of paper trail that's going to show that no undercutting is occurring, even if it's happening, because they at least have to make a show of not undercutting. So that's, I think Norm could be wrong. Maybe there's no undercutting, at least the way the program works. It's not supposed to occur.
Well, you know more about the software world, and I know more about the world of academia. In the world of academia, it's happening. Now, what were you saying about software? That they go to
Excellent
great lengths
stage
to avoid
management.
that, or to avoid the appearance of it? What were you saying?
There are some companies, that apparently advertise. They will do this whole song and dance of trying to find an American candidate. They'll interview several Americans, and the whole idea is none of them will be qualified enough. So now we have to hire a guy from somewhere else, right? And
So they're gaming the system.
Yeah, they're gaming the system. Yeah. It calls it
Yeah, I suspected that was happening in software. Because frankly, if you have a person from India who's coming from a less robust economy, we know that they are really good in technology, they have good training, and they're willing to work for less in worse conditions. But that can be a problem for people. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. Quite the opposite. I'm very happy with the Indian people who came here and all the stuff that they're doing. There are a lot of Indian cardiologists, for example. I think we need more doctors. We need more cardiologists and stuff. There is a problem if they, like we are all saying, if they are willing to work for less money in worse conditions, because that then makes the conditions worse, or it means it's for everybody, or it means that people from here are not going to get the job.
Right.
I'm not saying.
Wait, Dominic.
Yes.
There's
like
Adrian
a woman.
Dickman down in the chat. That's Edmund. Can we remove him from the room, please?
6 for 6, baby! 6 for 6! 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 6 for 6!
I wanted to make
Thank you.
normal. If you look at the chat and just click on his profile, you can remove and block him from there.
Stop eating, Adams. Stop eating, Adams!
I don't see him in
He's
the room. Please leave because
Could you please leave? He screams like a woman.
You play identity politics all the fucking time. You love to victimize yourselves as a white woman, and that the left makes it all about race. The left makes it all about race. You make yourself the white woman in every single conversation when it's convenient. And that's why I'm not gonna lie. And I told you this. This isn't a surprise, Monica. I told you this the last time we had this conversation. I've lost respect for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying. So,
No respect at all. No respect at all.
Just give it time. Just give it time.
Monica ain't deserve that.
Oh, what do you mean she didn't deserve it? She asked me. I didn't know. Don't make me seem like the bully.
Another brutal takedown. How does my nigga endure such
Monica, make no mistake about it. It's not
roast?
about ego. I'll be the first to admit you did hurt me, but it wasn't my ego that you hurt. It was the very fact that
How
I
does
treated
my
you as a
nigga?
friend.
Oh, hey, Soren!
You used to.
I roasted your ass yesterday. I'm gonna roast your ass again.
Clubhouse because I've gotten clipped and it's a big fucking deal. I got the whole of TBBH to send email after email to get your account back in the day. That's how our relationship started. This was in season 2 of Clubhouse when Sarah Fox was fucking Donut. Back then,
Soren,
right?
come back. I'm gonna create a room. It's gonna be called The Roast of Soren. Let's do it a little bit later, but I'll roast you up real good. We'll get El Normo in there. I'll let you say what you want to say, but the primary focus will be to roast you.
I said this is one of the best.
We'll call it The Roast of Soren, an IRGC shill.
Because of egos. You don't think it's been reciprocal that I haven't stood for you when they've called you guys debate bros and said that you don't have substance or style or intelligence behind your debates? What are you talking about, Huey?
I have no, and that's okay, and that only goes to further my point, Monica. From the way you were moving, I was under the impression that we had one type of dynamic. But the day that you hit me up in my back channel, right, curious about why I gave you the feedback that I gave you in a particular room. It wasn't even particularly harsh feedback. It was actually feedback about your argument and nothing about you. But you hit me up in the back channel, actually, before you hit me up in the back channel, you said, why didn't I back channel this feedback to you? Remember that, right? I said, okay, cool, fair enough. If that was my faux pas as a friend, I'm going to respect that. Do you know who turns around and does the same exact shit, but adds on extra spice and makes the feedback about me rather than the point that I was making?
We've done it, my nigga.
So ever since then, it's like, okay, I understand. It's my fault. I'll take responsibility. Okay, I'm not a victim. I was stupid to think, right? I was stupid to think that the nature of the relationship we had was of a certain respect level. You can say it's ego, you can say it's whatever. I'm not above my. I'm not so proud that I can't say that I wasn't hurt by the way you conducted yourself when you started to criticize me instead of my arguments in general. When you started to do that weird shit where you say, oh, you people, X, Y, and Z, rather than addressing the points that I was making, and start saying, you're only saying that because you're X, Y, and Z. I'm like, why would you? Since when did we have that kind of dynamic where you can just judge me and criticize me openly when I don't do that to you? Right? I've always addressed your points, never you as a person. But since that's the game you want to play, I'm okay. I've learned the standard. You've taught me how you want to be treated. You want me to address you as a person.
My nigga loves the heat in the
That's what we're going
winter.
to start doing. Start addressing you as a person.
She's not
Fuck your
thick-boned.
That was never my intention. And the fact that
She's not thick-boned.
Like, I vaguely remember this.
It's called all fat.
I've got a few accounts. I'm missing it.
Absolute
But I tell the
unit.
people that I value and respect.
It's called all fat. Absolute unit.
Don't put it out
It's
on
not thick-boned. It's called all fat. Absolute unit.
and then offer an apology. Did
Another
I
convo
apologize
and
to
debate
you?
about nothing.
No.
Did I?
Wait, the back channels or after that? Well, after that.
Another convo and debate about nothing. This is awesome.
This is the second time. Last time
This
we
is
talked
awesome.
about this, you didn't apologize. And here's the thing, Monica. I don't care for
The my nigga roast.
Okay. Then
I'm not asking
This
for
is
apology.
awesome.
I'm only answering your
The my nigga roast.
The way I'm treating you. You don't need to apologize. You just need to be clear.
Nah, this,
if you have a criticism for me, or you're doing like I don't think I deserve a personal attack.
No. Do you remember what the argument was about?
Do you?
I criticized the right. I never said shit about you. Never said shit about you. That's why I was confused when you told me to say what I said. But then at some point you hit me up in the back channel, and then that's when I clarified that. Look, okay, fair enough. You might have felt like that was directed to you personally, but I was making a general criticism about the right and how the right plays identity politics. The
Low
right
IQ
does the same
versus
things
low
that the left are
IQ
doing,
equals
and I don't see anything wrong with
emotions.
that.
Well, so fair enough. And then we're almost done with this sidebar, and we can go back to whatever we were talking about before.
Convo about
So-
nothing.
So I
Extreme
told you
pathetics.
that you don't even believe the argument that you're framing that Daniel
Extreme
Penny was
pathetics.
I don't believe you think Daniel Penny was a vigilante. You just framed my argument that said he was a vigilante and said he was a good Samaritan. And I criticized you on your argument, and I said this is not typical excellence that I've come to expect from you.
That's got nothing to do with the argument, Monica. That's the issue. I don't have a problem with you saying that I misframed you. An argumentative issue is an argumentative issue. It's when you do that extra shit where it's like, oh, this is not the Huey that I come to expect of excellence. I'm disappointed in you. When you do that type of shit, that has nothing to do with our argument.
This isn't new. She does the same thing to me. Whenever I have a piece of feedback for her behavior and I'm dissatisfied with the way she's acting, she does the exact same thing to me. She's in my back channel. She's like, I can't believe you would do
I
that.
don't even know if it's talking right now. I don't even recognize the voice. But you admitted it, that you were sacrificing quality of argument for performance. And you admitted it to
Yes.
everyone.
Wait, hold on. Let's be clear. Give the context for why I admitted it. It was in response to you already having crossed that line, and so I'm providing justification for it at that particular point in time. But make no mistake about it, Monica. Me saying what I said has nothing to do with you being justified in making a personal characterological attack, and you've done this several times. That's the thing. I never just freak out on people just because they do it one time, right? That's not how I move, right? Generally speaking, like the way I address, for example, King, or the way I address Brad, the way I'll address Lion, is based on repetitive behavior because I'm trying to establish a dynamic between these people in general. Once that dynamic is set, then this is what I expect going forward, and this is what they can expect from me. There's certain types of jokes that I'm not going to tell to King, right? Despite the fact that he'll hear me tell them to other people, right? I established patterns within relationships. You broke the particular pattern. You let me know that this is now the nature of our relationship. So from now on, I'm letting you know, you don't have to apologize. You don't have to be sorry. You're disappointed in me, and I'm telling you, I've stopped giving a fuck. What I'm going to start doing is every argument or debate we have, I'm going to find a way to tie it to an ineptitude, a characterological ineptitude within you, as well as a spiritual one. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Okay, have you found any yet?
Several. You hypocrisy.
This is
You are the
intense.
biggest victim of all time. The greatest victim.
Evil, yo.
Okay.
It's actually truthful.
What an incredible projection.
Explain how.
Jesus Christ, we've
I
done
can do
this
it again.
1,000 times.
Monica, I'm disappointed. You have to explain this again.
Kiwi, you're doing it again. This is what she wants, Huey. She just wants to be the center of attention, whether it's negative or
Is
positive.
this an intervention
It
room?
doesn't matter. She's going to consistently continue down this track because, again, something in her real life is not fulfilled, and she's going to actually continue until she's done. And then she's going to cry. She's probably reporting you now for bullying her. And then she does that shit over and over and over and over again.
Okay.
You should mute up.
Brad,
You
accurate
should
analysis
say something.
100.
I try to defend you, Monica.
Better yet, go to the gym.
Oh, it was Still Bar.
Better yet, get off Clownhouse, go to the gym.
I'm glad we had that conversation. I'll go out and say.
Let me just say for the record, I have the humility to admit that I might get certain things wrong. This is my perspective, and if you want to dispute it, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, it's all good here. I think
Darling,
That's the-
look at all the. Do you see what Louis sees?
Do I see what Huey sees about you?
Yes.
Monica's going to
No,
start
look.
crying.
At the end of the day, I think
Be
it's
delicate.
right from the point. I never will see you like that. I'm an asshole.
Be delicate.
It's all right. Well, Monica, it's all right. Listen, you come on home to the plantation. I got some work for you.
Be delicate. Monica's going to start crying. Be
My
delicate.
relationship with Jacobus is not the same as Huey's relationship with Jacobus, and so on and so forth. And we all develop patterns within those relationships that I do think people need to be cognizant of, because when you do, like you pointed out, if there's something that breaks in that pattern,
Monica's playing
things
the
can
cards.
change. You know, that's literally what has happened with several people in here, with myself,
She
just looking,
thinks she
just
has
reflecting,
a
right?
higher
I would even
IQ.
say with Guava, when I was talking to Nathan, I'm essentially describing how Guava's
And a
pattern
better,
for
and a
me
better
changed, and
analysis.
that's how things got so much better, right? And I think that's important when people can
Which is
recognize
probably
patterns and either fix them or unfortunately break them. Well then, you know,
She
it is
thinks
what
she
it
has
is.
a higher IQ and a better analysis of the
Monica,
situation, which is probably true.
you know I'm good with you, but that doesn't seem to be the case with other people in here, and so and these are people who I fuck with, like Barack. This fellow Nigerian, I fuck with Barack. I find it very interesting.
Because this is the lowest IQ room in Clown House.
It's interesting, I don't know why, but that's the case with him. And all I'm saying, Monica, is just be cognizant of that people have a view of you, and
Because he makes more money than he does.
Okay, so when Brad
You know that's not true,
when Brad
This is not real money they're lying.
Monica has herself over this attention. Let's keep it real. I find that offensive. highly
Monica, your opinion of
inappropriate,
yourself is all that
objectifying,
matters. These
and
clown opinions are
over-sexualizing.
useless.
No objectifying.
No one has ever sexualized you. That's not even possible.
You far. It's gross and inappropriate the way you humanize women.
Go read Marcus Aurelius, Monica.
I do you that way. That's fucking 100% true. I don't do lady lying like that. I don't do she-wolf. I don't do anybody else. And you are trying to draw them in, saying, please protect me, because again, you're the victim. You opened your fat, retarded mouth.
Go read Marcus Aurelius, Monica, and stop this roast.
You just hate all women, and you say this repeatedly, when in fact,
You're just digging your hook.
I just don't like you. You fat piece of shit.
You're just digging your own grave.
Tyler does the same.
Monica.
So
I don't like how they talk to you. It's
He's
evil.
clown.
They would have talked to lady
Grave
like that, and I
diggers.
would. You need some saving too, bitch ass.
He's
Get
clown
up,
grave diggers.
I was wrong for how I spoke to your wife, and we shouldn't be speaking to Monica like this.
True diggers.
She ain't nobody white. She has no title. What are you talking about? That's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's daughter. Yo, Nathan, the way this nigga Huey chewed Monica, new asshole, and how these niggas jumped her, is sick, my nigga. It's fucking sick.
Tell the full story. And this is that shit that makes me feel like a lot of you niggas are slimy. But no, let me not say a lot of you niggas, just a couple. Because you never tell the full story. You do this weird
This
thing.
is a sick room full of diggers. True picnickers.
Listen, I'm the last born of the family. I'm not going to be outdone by the second born who everyone fucking forgets. Just like how you're forgotten in the goo, right? This is the reality. When it comes to Father Nathan, Father Nathan, what actually happened, comrade, is Monica asked me a direct question about why I felt uncomfortable being modded in a room with her. I proceeded to tell her why. She proceeded to answer follow-up questions, and all I did was give her honest feedback on this august Feedback Friday. Nobody came for Monica. She's not a fucking victim. She asked for it.
She is a victim. I want to speak to a lady like that.
Huey
Why
is
don't
a
you
clown.
look up like that?
The things with Monica is that she never actually realizes what drives you to it, and then when the incident occurs,
and then it's repeated, and she continues to do it, then she cries, "It's disgusting, it's mean." But you know what? You brought it on yourself. You kept poking. You kept doing it. You kept trying.
Even Baruch,
Right down
even Baruch,
and
Fat
you
Cat
did
Survivor.
all the
Fat Cat Survivor. Fat Cat Survivor.
You danced out there. You did your fucking rain dance. You poured water on it. You grew it, and now you get to deal with it. Too fucking
And,
bad.
and let's not forget the context. All of this happened in the context of King asking me, or not asking me, addressing a concern he had with me and the way I quote unquote gas Tally or sometimes, right? Or glaze Tally, which is fair, which is a fair criticism.
Really?
But I was explaining to King that
Show
the
me the
reason
book,
I didn't
Fatty.
go up in that particular room is that I would have been more comfortable if anybody else had started the second
Really? Go read
Chillis
a
room
book,
had
Fatty.
it not been for Monica and King. Bear witness. Tell me if I'm lying. Did I not say that? But that's a story for another day. Don't have to address that here.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, that exactly. And then Monica, you wanted to know, and so I
Because
told
I
you.
can't
I'm
learn
not gonna run
anything
like a
from this
bitch.
digger.
Because I invited you to join the stage. The whole point was when Callie removed 2
You
players.
didn't listen to what he
My
said.
nigga. My nigga. Baby voice, girl. Baby voice. Baby voice. My nigga, baby voice.
Come on, y'all heard it. I didn't get a chance. Go ahead, Monica.
So that night, when Callie was using one of her crash out coins, and she and Shy were going at it, as a mod, Steve removed Shy from the room, which is not something you're supposed to do. It was a mutual
This is so
combat
pathetic.
situation, and she abused the bat.
This is so
Shy
pathetic.
happened to my good Shy.
So pathetic. Jesus
And
Christ.
that was not okay. That's not a
If you this is comedy, right?
And no one, Nathan and Nolly.
This is comedy, right?
That a new room needed to be started, but they were both away from the app. So I was saying that to uphold the
I'm
quality.
not the only one laughing, right?
I opened a public meeting to listen to them. And I only
This is
opened
comedy,
it
right? Jesus Christ. This
because
is so
of
pathetic.
injustice.
Baby voice.
And I invited all the people that were modded in that previous room. And I was going to mod badge them. Yui, because he and I have a disagreement in his debate style, stayed in the goo, and I didn't know why until just now. Now that he's reminded me that he can't take constructive criticism from me, that's no problem.
Is my nigga a
I'll
kindergarten
stop giving
teacher?
it to him. I no longer care
Is my
about
nickel a
quality and
kindergarten
standards
teacher?
of Huey's debates in here. And so we're moving on. Thank you for your time.
And before we move on, I just want to be super clear. I just want to be super clear so that we don't mischaracterize this. I have zero problems with people having any kind of critical feedback or criticism for my debate style. I have a problem when they decide to turn that criticism into a criticism about me and my character in general.
Style?
There's lots of people who do that though, and there's a certain
Is my
response.
nigga a
Those
kindergarten
people who
teacher?
criticize my character get out of me. And what I'm trying to point out, Monica, is you are not going to be treated different in my eyes as the way I'm going to treat Concrete, as the way I treat Samoa. All of these niggas who have criticism about me personally, I'm going to roast you the same way I roast those niggas. The difference is with those niggas, they can laugh it off. If you can't laugh it off, you're going to find yourself again.
I'm getting therapy right now because of you. Hey, I just wanted to say, just to clear the air, I'm glad that Huey has acknowledged that every attempt at an offensive attack has been minuscule in its effect, because we're able to just laugh it off.
That was a very funny joke. Everyone PTR, look at my PTR, everyone.
Father Nathan. Father Nathan, please let me be your favorite. Jacobus has flattered you in multiple ways.
Absolutely, fuck this nigga.
Please.
Cheetos!
Come to America.
Cheetos, baby.
For 50 cents a day, you can have a genius in chillism.
Nathan, you're gonna have to get some ointment because there has been so much rump kissing that your butt cheeks are gonna be like raw.
It's
never be me. Y'all really be doing the most. Like, y'all really are all on your hands and knees. And I don't know why y'all really on your hands and knees. Motherfucking everything. I'm fucked up.
Take that in, y'all. The gayest nigga hit, and he wouldn't even be the way you all are.
Yo, pause, bro. Yeah, take that in. I ain't that handsome motherfucker. All you guys are.
What are you talking about?
He said, I want y'all to take that in.
Yeah, this ain't your first time taking it.
Hey, Concrete, you in the Matrix, bro.
Yeah, Concrete, you in the Matrix.
I am perfectly, tell you the truth.
Man, you was paying that then.
Yo, am I better? Am I better?
They're trolling you.
Yeah,
Cool. He was good before.
Don't listen to stepfather Nathan.
So, my feedback for Huey is, whilst he is typically a bad debater in terms of how he constructs his arguments, in this debate with
Here we
Monica,
go.
he did
Word to word.
garner some extra points from me because Monica offered him an opportunity
Monica,
to become one of her
you gonna listen to the
and he
replay?
politely declined and gave her
Monica, you gonna listen to the replay? Come back. To learn why.
I have to commend him for that. Even though
To
that in
not
no way,
be
shape, or form
involved
improves his honesty or his ability to
with
debate,
these
at least
diggers.
he has a backbone and didn't become Monica bitch, even though he's cheerleading to
To
become
learn
somebody.
why to not be involved with these diggers.
Yeah, we.
That was funny.
Then pay attention
That was a bar.
to what you say.
So
That boy was speaking fat.
Then pay attention to what you say.
I manipulate and treat
I don't
people.
know, but again, maybe another one.
Let me give you an example. Samoa, do you think it's fair for the small rats not to be able to play? Sometimes the big rats should allow space for the small rats to be able to play because the small rats can't play. The small rats aren't actually having fun. So don't you think you should put
Let the rest continue.
Samoa. Fuck no.
There you go.
But when you leave, he be saying yes.
Right.
I have a question for the room. Why is it that when people ask for feedback, nobody has anything to say? But because Monica decided to ask Huey a question and he gave his honest opinion, now everybody jumping on the bandwagon, and now all of a sudden y'all got feedback from Monica. Where's your feedback every other week?
Don't do that, lady. Don't pretend like we don't pretend like we
Saying in general, Concrete.
Lady,
I'm the
It's
one
just
that's
like Concrete. I feel the same way. I feel the same way about you. Is if somebody brings you up about what they personally feel about you, but ain't nobody else said nothing all day or last week or the week before that, and then all of a sudden they got something to say about you. I'm like, where that energy last week?
Listen, lady, flattery is not gonna persuade me, even though I appreciate it.
I'm being serious.
Hold on. Monica constantly gets the smoke from men, women, and children. Like, what is
Concrete is a digger.
Bullshit. You saw what she did to Stilgar. You see what she does on a
What's
regular
he do to
basis.
Stilgar?
Alright, I'll tell you what she did to Stilgar. Stilgar, I think, laughed at a joke. And on let's say, Monday. Tuesday, Monica caught Stilgar by himself and pushed him into one
Go there now.
and told him,
Don't waste your time.
And he was like, nah, I'm not getting. That's a fact, Shasha. That's a fucking fact.
Don't waste your time listening to my movie.
He said, no, hold on.
Just leave now.
That's a fucking fact, yo.
Not say not a single word in a row, and there's like a bunch of
I'm in the white area.
Get your fucking big mic, Sunshine. Get your big mic.
Just leave now. Free yourself from these diggers.
Once y'all admit that y'all love Monica's dick in your mouth, everything will be fine.
They love all that chocha living in.
Okay, so the whole point is, when Stilgar got confronted by Monica about him laughing at a joke, she then threatened to say his name, even though he was like, I don't want people saying my name. And then she fucking laid out his name 2 fucking times in that conversation because he left on the joke. And so that is Monica being diabolical, trying to make a bitch out of Stilgar and violating the friendship that they thought they had. Because he does look out for her as a good, clean white man.
Diabolical digger.
So that's the same exact fucking response that Huey just gave. And there has been a pattern established. Monica be looking for bitches. No.
But Nathan tell y'all don't dogpile. He don't let us dogpile individuals in here. He say don't dogpile, so don't dogpile.
I just commended
This room and all the diggers.
I'll give a critique.
Pattern
I'll
24/7.
give a critique on Nathan, if that's all right. So we can move it off of Monica because that's the whole purpose of this. Nathan needs to learn how to connect disciplines, especially with meanings of terms. So in the court ethical framework,
It's like a TV
you
show
can
on
use the word
YouTube.
called prejudicial. in
Same
the
pattern.
logical and reasoning discipline of framework, you can use a term called fallacious. So because a person doesn't understand these two things and they lack the ability to connect, they'll always think that you're disingenuous, and then they'll attribute that to your character, then they'll try to devalue you. You guys have all shared the same experience, right? Just saying.
Nigga said fellatio.
Hey man, can we get this nigga out of here, Rich? Where you at, bro? No.
If fellatio wasn't what it was, it'd probably be an Italian pasta dish with extra sausage.
I was Italian ice cream.
I was just about
Yeah,
to
that
say ice
or
cream. I was just about to say a gelato or it would be a dessert.
What about Sunny Niggas? What about Sunny Niggas?
I would have thought that it sounded something close to flamingo, or maybe so I would have thought maybe a type of bird.
Yeah, what you think Sunny Niggas is?
That's a good one, babe.
It's an Italian
What you
pasta.
think Sunny
But I
Niggas
did
is?
think ice cream first. Here we You probably were my brother in a past life.
I got some feedback. Oh, something you said it out.
I just like
Good shadows, diggers.
I know, it's fucked up. You brought that.
Okay, this is called Going to the Gym Now, Pigs. How's your day going? Can we, date this evening. Until next week, I'm feeling under the weather. Can we postpone our date this evening till next week? I'm feeling under the weather. Oh, how's your Friday going?
The original Silent Hill for PlayStation 1 is...
Greenland has been thrust into the international spot.
Good afternoon, beautiful. Enjoying the snow? Good afternoon, beautiful. Good afternoon. Enjoying the snow? Shall we go to
I have dealt with mental and emotional struggles for a very long time. I was also dealing with the fear of embracing the...
This is the special thing about Buddhism. Everything in Buddhism sounds negative. Let's put it this way. Let's suppose you engage yourself in a relationship with the Buddha, or with one. I mean, there are hundreds of Buddhas. One we call Gautama is just the historical Buddha that everybody knows about. But one Buddha leads to another, because as a result of his relationships with people, he turns them into Buddhas too, awakened people. Now you meet one of these people, and he's going to give you a rough time. But one of the Buddhas running around these days is Krishnamurti. And Krishnamurti absolutely destroys everybody's religion. Why do you believe this? Why are you hanging on to that? Why do you want to insist that this idea is so? See? And he shows you that all your fixed formulations, all the ideas to which you cling, are spurious. And Buddhism was one of the ways of doing just that. So one might say simply this, to try and sum up what Buddhism is about. The word Buddha is derived from the root Bud in Sanskrit, B-U-D-H, which means to be awake. So the Buddha is the awakened man, the man who woke up. What does he wake up from? Obviously a dream. And what kind of a dream is this? Well, I would call it a state of hypnosis.
Let's go to the Botanic Gardens.
And the state of hypnosis, although I'm using hypnosis in a rather archaic sense of the word,
Let's go to the Botanic Gardens.
is a state of being entranced, spellbound, fascinated, and this is called, in Sanskrit, avidya. A-V-I-D-Y-A. Vidya is knowledge in Sanskrit. And it is the root from which we get videre in Latin, to see, and so vision in English. So putting the A in front of it means non. Avidya, not seeing. Ignorance, ignorance. where you see but you ignore everything that you're not looking at. When you put the beak of a chicken on a white chalk line, and the chicken...
Guys, what you're saying right now, right? Yeah. How should guys approach you in the gym or if at all?
So they don't approach me,
they just stare at me because I think I look intimidating. So they do where they find you on social media, follow you, slide in the DMs,
Talking about, I saw you in the gym, but I was kind of a little scared to approach, and I was like, no wonder.
Do you understand how you're kind of intimidating though?
Yeah, but I think like even at this point I'm not out of context, I think it's the vibe that I'm giving off, maybe a little like tomboyish style thing. I think I do look a little intimidating, I'm not gonna lie.
So you can approach them.
No, but I'm not looking for a boyfriend. I'm looking for a man. Guys.
He's awake from that state of hypnosis, and he knows well, I can't put what he knows in any positive terms. Buddhism has no doctrines at all, but you have to believe it. We don't care what background you come from, whether you're a Roman Catholic or one extreme or a logical positivist at the other. Both are clinging to something, you see? And so the method of Buddhism is to knock out the underpinnings and say, well, not only do we not believe in anything, we don't even believe in not believing in anything. You know, you crawl into a hole and pull the hole in after you. But in this case, you do the exact opposite of that. That's a defensive move, to crawl into a hole. In this way, you crawl into great space and then pull the space out after you. And to go through this is pretty rough, because you can do it on what seems at first to be a merely intellectual level. So you can engage a group of people in discussion, and you can start, whenever they propose an idea that is their sort of guiding principle of life, you demolish it, show that it doesn't hold water. And step by step you unearth, by talking with them, what are the fundamental ideas they're operating on. Everybody is. Everybody is a philosopher. Everybody has metaphysics, although they may not know what it is, so they've never examined it. But by this method you bring it out, and you demolish it. And this suddenly, what seemed like a very nice intellectual discussion, turns into sheer murder. People get really anxious. They develop all the trembles and the symptoms of extreme anxiety. And so they finally say to the guru, the teacher, well, heaven's sakes, what do you believe in? He says, I'm not proposing anything. I didn't set anything up. Well, how do you navigate? How do you exist? This is what's the problem. Because you see, what we're moving from, as I suggested a moment ago, we're moving from a state of affairs where we're accustomed to navigation on land to a state of affairs where we're in the water. And this is very critical for today, because the impact of modern science on Western culture has been very similar to this. In Christianity, we sing hymns like How Firm a Foundation and Rock of Ages, Ein fester Burg, a mighty fortress is our God. We've something to stand on. The church's one foundation is Jesus Christ her Lord, you know. This firm thing. All right, suddenly all that disappears or becomes implausible. And we find ourselves swimming or sinking. Now, when you find that you're living in the midst of the universe of relativity, well, there's nothing you can hold on to. You've got to learn how to swim. And to swim, you've got to relax and stop grabbing. So this is what Buddhism does. When it says it's the art of let go, of non-attachment. Non-attachment doesn't mean that you lose your appetite for dinner. It means simply that you stop grabbing. You get rid of stickiness. Stickiness in the sense that, for example, when a wheel has an axle that's too tight and it sticks, you want to loosen it up a bit. You don't want it too loose.